Imagine walking into the Metropolis market to rent a simple aquarium and discovering that the same tank that cost 10 fish last year now costs 20. There's been no renovations, no bigger, no magical bubble filter. It's the same tank, in the same corner, but twice the price. And the scariest thing is that this doesn't happen in isolated cases. It's become routine. Cats look at the rental signs, take a deep breath, and repeat the phrase that has become commonplace. It's expensive, but it's what they have. This absurd jump in housing costs is more than just cold numbers on a table. It's the fish plate that shrinks every month. It's the drain on workers' pockets. It's the feeling that their efforts never match the aquarium bill. And the cycle is perverse, because when prices rise, it's not just the aquarium owner who profits. It's a whole system that takes advantage of the scarcity to take an ever larger chunk of their fish stock. And here's the question no one in Metropolis can avoid. If a simple aquarium already requires twice as many fish, who is really inflating this bubble and turning the lives of ordinary cats into an eternal race for ever more pimples? Guys, in Metropolis, every year new cats are born, families arrive from out of town, and young people leave their parents' homes wanting their own space. The city grows, the demand for aquariums increases, but the lake remains the same size. New tanks don't appear as quickly as new cats. The result is inevitable: fierce competition for every available space. Imagine a lake full of cats thirsty for a place to swim. If there are only 10 aquariums but 20 cats want to rent them, what happens? The price goes up. And it doesn't go up a little, it goes up almost predatorily, because the tank owners know there will always be someone willing to pay more. The math is simple and cruel. When there's high demand and low supply, the price skyrockets. But in Metropolis, this problem doesn't solve itself. Building new aquariums requires space, permission from City Hall, and heavy investment. And while projects are bogged down by bureaucracy and political disputes, ordinary cats foot the bill. Every sardine saved becomes irrelevant compared to the rent that swallows half the school. What seemed like a mere market adjustment ends up becoming a collective trap. The more cats arrive, the more pressure mounts. The slower the pond's expansion, the harder it becomes for the average citizen to acquire their own. It's an unfair game where those who already have an aquarium see the value soar effortlessly, while those seeking space must deliver ever more fish to secure a living. And the question that echoes through the streets of Metropolis is straightforward. How long will the limited lake sustain this insane race for aquariums that cost twice as much each generation? And that's when the drama hits hardest. The cat who works all month, who collects every fish coin with discipline, discovers that half of his effort goes directly to renting an aquarium that hasn't even changed size. It's like swimming without ever reaching the edge of the lake, always running out of breath. This feeling of injustice isn't individual. It's collective. All of Metropolis feels the weight of this unequal race. This is where I need to ask you something. If this type of explanation makes sense to you and should be on the lips of many more people, subscribe to the channel now, because the more cats understand what's really going on, the greater the pressure will be to change the system that turns every aquarium into an unattainable luxury. And meanwhile, prices continue to inflate, and the competition for space in Metropolis only gets worse. Cruel. While most of the cats in Metropolis struggle to scrape together fish coins and pay the rent for a cramped aquarium, there's one group that's swimming in this turbulent pond: tank owners and aquarium investors. For them, every rent increase is a cause for celebration, transforming a stagnant space into an endless source of fish coins. A tank that once yielded 10 fish per month now yields 20, without the owner having lifted a single paw to improve it. In the end, the entire burden falls on the tenants. The cat that pays the rent is the one who funds the profits of those who already have a fish bowl. It's a game where the fish always slips from the pockets of those who have less to fill the coffers of those already at the top. And this mechanism explains why, even with so much discontent, prices continue to rise. Metropolis. And while the common cats of Metropolis are squeezed into ever-shrinking aquariums, another phenomenon is gaining momentum: the bubble of bubbles. Instead of building affordable tanks to serve those who truly need them, big investors and speculators are pouring resources into luxury buildings. These are huge, shiny, ornate aquariums, but they sit empty, bought only as investments, hoping the price will rise even further. These gleaming glass tanks become safes parked in the middle of the city. They don't serve the purpose of housing families, they don't help alleviate pressure on the lake, but they fuel the wheels of speculation. Each new luxury aquarium sold reinforces the logic that it's not worth considering common cats, because the real profit lies in betting on scarcity. Meanwhile, the reality at the bottom of the lake is suffocating. Entire families crammed into tiny spaces, sharing tanks barely, big enough for 2 cats, paying disproportionate prices for a piece of glass and water. The contrast is grotesque. On one side, towers of luxury aquariums gleaming empty. On the other, rows of cats vying for every modest tank on the market. This bubble of air bubbles creates a dangerous distortion. The more investors buy aquariums to keep closed, the more the price skyrockets for those who truly need a home. It's like inflating a balloon over and over. Eventually, it bursts. But until then, it's the common cats who foot the bill, breathing less and less in this lake where air and aquariums have become expensive. Too much. Ultimately, the rental boom in Catropolis isn't just about counting fish or fighting over aquariums. It's about trust, inequality, and the future of an entire city. When the pond doesn't grow, but the number of cats only increases, math becomes a battlefield. Every fish coin that enters a tenant's hands goes straight to fattening the coffers of those who already have tanks to spare. And while some hoard empty aquariums as if they were trophies, others can barely secure a spot to rest their paws. Confidence in the market is crumbling as everyone realizes it's no longer about providing housing, but about exploiting scarcity. The price of a simple tank becomes a symbol of a system that prioritizes speculation over stability. And in this rut, ordinary cats lose not only fish, but also the feeling that they can build a secure life in Catropolis. Inequality grows. Like a tide no one can stem. On one side, a few cats control most of the aquariums, deciding how much breathing is worth. On the other, the multitude works ever harder and takes home ever less. The clash is inevitable. When the pond doesn't grow, every cat ends up fighting for fewer fish on their plate. This is the moral of the urban school. If Catropolis doesn't find a balance, the dream of a worthy aquarium will cease to be reality and become an illusion. Because in the end, a city that can't house its own cats isn't just expensive, it's unsustainable.